Plenty of things from the Predator franchise have become ingrained in the public consciousness over the decades, but there's a lot that's still unknown about these deep space big game hunters, and plenty of things we do know that remain confusing. We're here to help sort it out. There's a lot we don't know about the Predators. For example, the word predator is just what Earthlings call these monsters.
We took a vote. Predator's cooler, right?
Their language in the movies appears to be a collection of clicking noises represented through a complex series of dashes and writing, so we're never quite sure what they prefer to be called. That said, the Predator Expanded Universe has revealed in the past that they're an alien species known as the Yaucha, or the Hichkuten. According to the lore, that latter name is alien speak for the people who take territory. Whatever you want to call them, there are a handful of broad traits they share that come up throughout each film. First of all, the race seems to be guided by a desire to hunt for sport. Often they'll seek out whatever passes for the greatest warriors in a given area and stalk them as a trophy game.
This thing is hunting us. All of us.
They've even been known to pass on human beings that don't pose an immediate threat or challenge, hinting that they might be guided by a twisted sense of honor or sportsmanship. They also seem to typically hunt in units of no more than 3. When they arrive at their hunting grounds, they're ready for combat, with elaborate armor designed to help them track prey and turn invisible, and a helmet that allows them to see heat signatures and other highly specific filters on the visual spectrum. If you do manage to get through that armor, you'll be greeted with bright green luminescent blood, assuming they don't self-destruct first. Not much is known about the Predator's place of origin. They're advanced enough to travel the galaxy, but they've also shown signs of having a singular home world with its own distinct culture and hierarchy. However, none of that is really explained to any of the human beings that encounter the Predators. They're often too busy running for their lives to swap stories. Instead, humans typically deal with the warrior class of the Predators, those that are brave enough to put boots on the ground and collect human trophies.
He's on safari. Lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my. Trophies.
The predator species has a sort of tribe mentality, and they're not above having conflicts amongst themselves. In short, part of what makes the predators so scary is the fact that humans don't quite know where they come from or what exactly they want other than to hunt them down and dispatch them with extreme violence. The first time we see predators encountering humanity is in 1987 in the jungles of Central America. The first Predator film sees U.S. Special Operations Forces veteran Major Alan Dutch Schaefer lead a group of 5 highly trained commandos and an old friend from the CIA on a daring mission against some guerrilla troops. On their way to the extraction point, the group of mercenaries finds itself stalked by something that picks them off one by one. Despite their training, they are simply no match for their bigger, stronger, and more technologically advanced opponent. However, the armor starts to crack when Dutch realizes that the creature seems to be hunting for sport. When he sees it ignore an unarmed female captive.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Dutch also discovers a strategic advantage in the midst of battle. When he's knocked into the mud bank of a river, the Predator has a tough time seeing him because being covered in cold mud has reduced his heat signature. Armed with some camouflage and makeshift traps, he engages the creature once more. Through a series of clever strikes and brute force, Dutch is able to damage the Predator, who responds by taking off its mask in an apparent show of respect for a worthy opponent.
You one ugly mother.
Facing off one final time, Dutch manages to capture the creature in a trap, forcing it to set off a self-destruct bomb to eliminate any trace of its failed hunt. The Predators return years later for 1990's Predator 2. After witnessing the heroism of Police Lieutenant Michael R. Harrigan, this new Predator proceeds to hunt the cops and robbers in his orbit. Harrigan unknowingly tracks the monster before encountering Agent Peter Keyes, who informs him that the US government is aware of the extraterrestrial threat.
Alien.
Key reveals the bout with Dutch in Central America was only the latest in a string of encounters in combat zones. After discovering that the Predator feeds on animal meat, the Feds set up a trap for the Predator at a slaughterhouse, thinking they have the upper hand by masking their heat signatures. However, the Predator switches to a different view on his helmet and tracks their flashlights. With any advantage they might have had now kaput, everyone but Harrigan is killed. Eventually, Harrigan chases a Predator to its ship and engages it in single combat. After he scores a narrow win, several more Predators encloak themselves and collect their dead comrade's body. They present Harrigan with an antique pistol as a trophy for besting their champion and allow him to leave the ship unharmed before they take off in defeat. This is where things get complicated. The same year, fans caught a brief glimpse of a xenomorph skull in Predator 2, Fox, which owned both the Alien and Predator movie franchises, licensed a series of crossover comic tie-ins that eventually led to the 2004 film Alien vs. Predator. Though not well received critically, AVP provides perhaps the biggest glimpse into the culture and the purpose of the Predators. In the film, a group of scientists led by industrial tycoon Charles Bishop Weyland discovers an underground pyramid some 2,000 feet beneath the ice in Norway. Weyland leads the team on an exploratory mission, just as a trio of predators arrive at the entrance to the pyramid. Through their exploration, they learn that the predator species created the xenomorphs from early humans, who had worshipped the invaders as gods and allowed themselves to be transformed into the ultimate prey. Every 100 years, the predators return to create and hunt the human sacrifices, turn xenomorphs on a rite of passage for their species. Two of the trio sent to the 2004 hunt die quickly, while one manages to eradicate the century xenomorph threat by befriending a tough-as-nails woman named Alexa Woods. As a slew of predators that have been surveying the conflict appear, they too offer her a weapon as a trophy for a successful fight and to leave with their fallen comrade, presumably back to their planet. However, as soon as they leave the dead predator alone, a predator-xenomorph hybrid emerges from its chest to terrorize a ship full of hunters before it even leaves Earth's atmosphere. Alien vs. Predator was followed by a sequel, Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. But there's an ongoing debate over whether these films count as canonical for either franchise. When Ridley Scott returned to the Alien franchise for the prequels Prometheus and Alien Covenant, he completely ignored the AVP story of the xenomorph's origins. Aliens vs. Predator Requiem picks up right after the events of AVP. With a hybrid on board that we will refer to as the Pred Alien, the ship from the end of the previous film crash lands in Colorado. A lone survivor sends a signal to the Predator homeworld, warning them that the xenomorph threat persists. One hunter takes it upon himself to go to Earth and eliminate them. Unfortunately, the sequel focuses heavily on the members of the small Colorado town, where the Predator and Pred Alien have their conflict. As a result, it doesn't do much to further the story of the species other than to highlight the lengths the Predators will go to in order to claim victory over the xenomorphs. The movie's climax sees a Predator facing off against a Pred Alien in single combat. Both of them inflict mortal wounds on the other before the government drops a tactical nuke on the small town that's now overrun with aliens, and that's that. The film ends with the Predator's plasma blaster falling into the hands of Weyland's corporate partner, Yutani, who declares that the world simply isn't ready for this kind of technology to be unleashed on human beings. Set days before Halloween in 2018, the Predator kicks off as a group of soldiers is attacked by one of the alien creatures during a mission on foreign soil. US Army Ranger Quinn McKenna manages to survive and mail himself some of the creature's armor as proof of its existence. He's debriefed and held captive with a ragtag group of other soldiers when the Predator in question wakes up, and it's definitely not thrilled to find itself in a government lab. The Predator quickly escapes, prompting the soldiers to steal a prison bus and set off on a mission to retrieve the mailed armor. When they arrive at McKenna's house, they find his son took the armor to wear as a makeshift Halloween costume. With the Predator on their tail, they track down the boy and retrieve the armor. Eventually, the Predator catches up and forces them to surrender the items, only to be killed when a larger Predator suddenly shows up. This new beastly-looking alien reveals through a voice translator that the species had stepped up its hunting game and is now collecting DNA of other species to create stronger hybrids. It's theorized in the film that, because predators like a warm climate, global warming is hurling humanity toward becoming the most attractive new hotspot for invasion. It also turns out that the original predator that attacked McKenna and his gang was delivering a mysterious package to humanity, and that it also carried a shocking amount of human DNA in its own genetic code. The film ends with McKenna and a group of scientists realizing that the package the Predator delivered was left on purpose. Inside is a suit designed to fit on a human body, one that looks like it's made for the specific purpose of combating predators. It doesn't take long for McKenna to call dibs on the new tech, meaning humanity is now prepared to fight fire with fire the next time the predators come a-hunting.
That's my new suit, Bubba.
2010's Predators begins when a group of soldiers from all around the world wake up to find themselves falling from the sky. After realizing that they're dealing with predators, the group of strangers deduces that they've been handpicked as some of Earth's greatest warriors and brought to some kind of intergalactic game preserve.
We're the game.
Their theory is proven right when they discover a madman who has survived on a new planet for what he calls 10 seasons by scavenging and hiding. He also reveals that there is a blood feud between the normal-looking predators that fans have seen in previous movies and new, larger predators. It seems that the predators' DNA splicing eventually went awry, causing a rift among the species. While it seems that the predators used the game preserve to sharpen their hunting skills, it's also possible that the technology brought to Earth in the Predator made it so the planet is no longer a viable hunting ground, which clearly hasn't stopped them from bringing the hunt to their own turf. Sadly, although 2 members of the party defeat the monsters, they fail in their mission to get off the planet and back home to safety. As a result, no one on Earth knows about this new strategy of kidnapping humans to hunt off planet, meaning McKenna's cool new suit may be useless to save humanity after all. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the bell so you don't miss a single one.